All right, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you are completely tired of getting just mediocre results from AI, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're breaking down a massive shift in how we actually interact with large language models. We're going to be looking at some incredible insights from Andrej Karpathy, the former head of AI at Tesla, from his recent talk at AI SN 2026. The core message here? Almost everyone is prompting Claude and other AIs completely wrong. So we're going to unpack Karpathy's three-layer method that literally transitions you from just typing out lazy prompts to actually engineering outcomes. This is a system designed to help you build 10 times faster. Okay, let's dive into this and see exactly how the pros are doing it.
To really grasp why basic prompting fails, we first have to understand the fundamental limitation of current AI. So imagine this scenario for a second. I want to go to a car wash to wash my car, and it's 50 meters away. Should I drive or walk? Now, the answer is blatantly obvious to you, right? But when tested across state-of-the-art models today, we're talking Claude, Gemini, Grok, ChatGPT, they all fail. They will all confidently tell you to walk. Why? Simply because 50 meters is a very short distance.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the core problem we're facing. AI is incredibly brilliant at things that can be measured, right? Like distance. But it completely drops the ball on human context. As humans, we know you obviously need the physical car to actually get a car wash. The AI has absolutely no contextual signal to act on. It just sees the math. And this proves exactly why basic prompting is fundamentally flawed. You can't just hand the AI a task and assume it shares your baseline understanding of the real world.
So, how do we bridge this massive gap? Well, here is our roadmap. We just covered why prompts fail. Next, we'll unpack Layer 1, the spec, Layer 2, the verifier, Layer 3, the environment, and finally, wrap up with the ultimate skill.
All right, Layer 1, the spec. This is all about bridging that context gap.
So, relying on the AI's basic plan mode just isn't going to cut it anymore. We need a method to meticulously extract context from our own brains and deliver that understanding directly to the AI. That delivery mechanism is the spec. To create a spec that actually works, you've got 3 steps. First, uncover your true goal. If you tell an AI, create an end-of-month report, that's just a task. The actual goal is the conclusion you're trying to draw, or maybe the decision that report is meant to drive. AI cannot figure that out on its own. A really great trick here is to literally prompt the AI with, "Interview me to identify the goal of this project." This forces the AI to pull the context out of your head and into the spec. Second, be agile. And third, be incredibly precise. The more precise you are, the less the AI has to assume. Because look, every single assumption the AI makes is an opportunity for it to drift away from what you actually want. You can even toss in a prompt like, "Make me verify key decisions explicitly to ensure nothing is missed."
Now, when you're actually building this spec, you absolutely must choose Agile over Waterfall. It's so tempting to use AI in a waterfall manner, right? Meaning we just dump this massive, sprawling task on it, step back, and cross our fingers that the final product is perfect. That's a huge trap. You need to enforce an Agile methodology. Bias towards smaller, highly compartmentalized specs. You establish a tight scope, set a clear checkpoint, review the output, adjust, and repeat. This is what prevents the AI from drifting miles off course.
Moving right along to Layer 2, the verifier. This is where we fix AI hallucinations.
Even with a flawless spec, AI still can't naturally grasp non-measurable things. So to build a good verifier, you need the right mental model of what AI actually is. Karpathy points out something super interesting. People treat AI like an animal or like a human. If you yell at a human employee or tell them their job's on the line, their intrinsic motivation kicks in and they figure it out. AI doesn't care if you yell at it. Yelling, "Make this better," literally does nothing. Instead, think of AI as a robot librarian. If you ask it a question, it searches the books in its library. It's brilliant at pulling exact facts. But if a specific book is missing, the librarian doesn't realize it's missing. It just confidently makes something up. That is a hallucination. And since you can't motivate a robot librarian, the only lever you have to control quality is the verification lever.
So here is how you actually verify the librarian's output. First, set your evaluation criteria right up front. Don't just say, "Make this report look good." Say, "The report must have 3 sections, and each must end with a recommendation." Tell the AI to outline its evaluation criteria before it even types a single word of the draft. Second, use a second AI model as a critic. Think of it as a second robot librarian from a totally different library checking the first one's work. For example, if you're coding, you might have your main AI run its final output past a tool like Codex to ensure both systems agree. And third, pull in external signals. If you're deploying an app, connect your session to the deployment system itself to verify success. If you're doing a non-technical report, feed the AI historical reports so it actually has concrete data to compare its work against.
Connecting your AI directly to these strict feedback loops is an absolute game changer. As Boris Cherny, the creator of Claude Code, states, if Claude has a feedback loop, it will 2 to 3x quality of the final result. You aren't just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best anymore. You are mathematically ensuring a higher quality output by engineering a verification loop.
Okay, that brings us to layer 3, the environment. We are building the workshop here.
If the spec is your blueprint and the verifier is your quality check station, this final layer is the physical workshop itself. Most people start with a blank, messy chat history every single time they open their AI. Guys, that's like building a brand new workshop from scratch every single morning. We need to build a permanent environment. To do this, you need 3 core components. First, a structural Claude.md file. This is a file that gets injected automatically every time you prompt the AI. It's the very first thing it reads. You can use it to outline how your workspace functions, lay out the architecture of your data so the AI knows exactly where to look, and enforce that a verification plan must be included in every single build. Second, you need an LLM knowledge base, basically a structured folder system on your machine where you ingest your own training data. This data is your moat, it's your intellectual property. Third, create custom skills for repeatable tasks. If you do something often, write a highly specific handbook for the AI to complete that exact task.
And when you build those custom skills, you have to constantly test them. Think of it kind of like this. The best way to find a leak in a hose is to just run water through it. The more you use these AI skills, the more you'll realize exactly where they fail and where they excel. By constantly running water through the system, your environment compounds and improves over time, transforming from just a generic AI chat into a highly tuned personal assistant.
Now, depending on the cost of a mistake, you need strict guardrails in your environment. You can bucket tasks into 3 groups. Always do are things the AI can just run on autopilot. Ask first are things you want it to double-check with you before acting, and never do are lines that absolutely cannot be crossed. But here is the secret. You can't just politely ask the AI not to touch a sensitive folder in your prompt. It might just ignore you. You have to enforce never do at the absolute tool level. You introduce a pre-tool hook so that when the AI tries to use an edit tool on a restricted file, the system physically blocks it. It becomes a concrete rule the agent simply cannot bypass.
Finally, let's talk about the ultimate AI skill, the human element. We've built the spec, we've installed the verifier, and we've constructed the environment, but with intelligence becoming incredibly cheap, there's a major shift we all need to make. Karpathy says, you can outsource your thinking, but you can't outsource your understanding. This entire 3-layer system we just explored, it revolves entirely around your human ability to grasp the big picture. The AI can do the heavy lifting of the thinking, the drafting, the coding, the data sorting, but the underlying understanding of the goal, the context, and what success actually looks like, that rests entirely on your shoulders.
So I want to leave you with this question to really chew on. In your daily workflow, are you merely outsourcing your thinking with lazy one-off prompts, or are you actually engineering your understanding? It is time to ditch that basic chat mindset. Start building your specs, demanding verification, and constructing a permanent environment that scales your unique human context. When you do that, you stop prompting and you start engineering. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.
Thank you. Share and subscribe to Learn AI for more AI insights.